We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. It is 4 p.m. And I would like to ask Trustee Williams to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
All right, if you would please rising and hands in your heart.
America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. We're excited to have a house full in the middle of summer. I think it's officially 103 degrees. So here we go. We are on to item number 2, which is public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. Either on an agenda item or on other matters of interest to the public that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board and before any board action is taken. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes per speaker and 20 minutes on the same or substantially similar subject unless majority of the board votes to extend the time limit. As a matter of policy, members of the board may not discuss or respond to matters raised during public comment unless the matters are properly noticed for discussion or action in open session. If you have questions about access or if you require accommodation to participate in the public meeting, please contact the Chancellor's office at 909-388-6903 as far in advance of the board meeting as possible. So with that, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So we are going to start with Dr. Judy White.
And Cabinet. My name is Dr. Judy White. I'm a retired Riverside County Superintendent of Schools and former Moreno Valley Superintendent and also former Deputy Superintendent of San Bernardino City Unified School District. I stand here tonight to say thank you for all that you do for this community. I have a special note of gratitude as you allowed me to address your team during your retreat. Engaged in unity while still appreciating the diversity of thought. You embrace the professional development on appreciating each other as human beings, focusing on our joint humanity and engaging in real dialogue about race and unity. I was so impressed with your transparency and vulnerability. You are to be commended for the programs that you have here on the campuses. The programs that you have started, the ones you have continued, and the ones that you continue to accelerate. You have modeled professionalism and respect. I would like to remind you that racial healing, inclusivity, and a pursuit of unity is ongoing. We never arrive. As you welcome your new board members, you must speak to yourself. Self, am I fair? Self, am I kind? Self, will I learn their story? Choose the best and choose to be the best. I would like to leave each of you, the board members, with a copy of my book called We. And this is just to reaffirm the things that we discussed. And I appreciate Chairwoman of the board, Stephanie Houston, and the very wise fellow trustees, along with Chancellor Rodriguez. The other cabinet members, you know how to find Amazon, but I'm leaving. I'll leave one with Heather before I leave. And this book will remind you that intentionally removing blind spots and negative labels take us on the journey of honoring one another just because we exist. I thank you for choosing to be the role models of fairness who love. And we talked about this in the retreat. The love, the L stands for listening, the O stands for remaining optimistic, and the V stands for valuing one another, and the E stands for engaging one another. I leave you with this quote by Mother Teresa: "Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity to peace. If we have no peace, it's because we have forgotten that we belong to each other." Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Citlali Santana.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Citlali Santana, and I'm currently co-chair of the Latino Faculty and Staff Association, and I'm here to read a letter that was sent to you all via email. On behalf of the Latino Faculty and Staff Association Board of the North Orange County Community College District, we are writing to you in strong support of one of our strongest leaders and friend, Dr. Gil Contreras. We heard about individuals who recently made allegations against Dr. Contreras, both by email and during the Board College Community District. These same individuals made similar slanderous attacks during the Board of Trustee meetings at the North Orange County Community College District. And our members and board also supported and defended him then. We strongly believe he has been wrongfully accused and unfairly portrayed. Furthermore, due process must be taken when dealing with issues of such gravity as sexual harassment, etc. It is important to recognize that allegations alone do not constitute guilt. In the current climate, where accusations can spread quickly and tarnish reputations irreparably, it is essential to uphold the principles of due process and fairness. Dr. Contreras deserves the opportunity to defend himself against these allegations and to be presumed innocent until proven otherwise. In this letter, we want to highlight some of the multiple contributions Dr. Contreras has made both to NOCCD and our community. Please know the list is only a synopsis of many ways he has transformed our students. Collaboration through calling in, not calling out, and true sense of community and belonging. He has led the efforts to name the 200 building after Justice Cruz Reynoso and the Planning Committee, inauguration, fundraising efforts, etc. The Diversity Advisory Committee adoption of community agreements, active member and contributing to organization of all events and efforts of LFSA. He's been an organizer and leader of Cruising Back to College, the first Latinx Summit 2022, and the Art Mural by Jose Lozano, supporter of the Study Abroad Wine Pairing Fundraising raising over $16,000 for marginalized students. He's been a Puente program leader and mentor for many years. He's established a number of scholarships, including the Lupe Contreras Scholarship founder. Los Amigos of Orange County honored him and have always shown his support. EOPS Aid to Amend Student Charter, Puente Program, Community Civic Group Activity, supporter of Umoja Program and the Cadenat Center, Legacy Program at Cypress. We have worked with Dr. Contreras at this district for almost 2 decades, and he has always led with integrity and love. The recent allegations are entirely inconsistent with this character as we know it, and some seem to have happened over 30 years ago. We would like you to consider the potential consequences of sensationalizing of routine or unverified allegations. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Vincent Rosso.
Hi, good evening, Chair Houston, Chancellor Rodriguez, and members of the board. Vincent Rosso with the Campaign for College Opportunity. It's such a pleasure to be back. Thank you guys all for having me. I join you today with excitement for the incredible happenings across the district. First and foremost, a little bit late, but wanted to congratulate the class of 2024 at Crafton Hills and San Bernardino Valley Colleges for their accomplishments. I also welcome our new student trustees, Hari Natur and Nelva Ruiz Martinez, and wish you well as you elevate student voice to the board throughout your terms. As an organization that prides ourselves on college access, student success, and racial equity advocacy, the campaign is committed to the regional success of the Inland Empire because of the incredible diversity, yet alarming disparities that exist for our students and our communities. Our Inland Empire Higher Education Equity Hub, which is a coalition of remarkable college access and has worked diligently to elevate the IE voice to our state policymakers and system college leaders. This includes our 2024 sponsored legislation, AB 2057, which seeks to streamline ADT pathways for STEM students as recommended by the AB 928 Intersegmental Implementation Committee. This would greatly benefit community college students of color across the Inland Empire who are seeking to transfer to 4-year STEM degree programs. Thank you to SBCCD for being incredible partners in the work to advance equity, and I especially want to congratulate Dr. Gilbert Contreras, the newly appointed president at San Bernardino Valley College. We're hopeful that the campus will continue to make strides in leadership and advocacy, especially for our Black and Latinx student communities, and look forward to your dynamic leadership. Thank you to Chancellor Rodriguez and the board for leading a national search involving students, faculty, and a diverse range of stakeholders at the table. We're confident in your continued ability to propel students to new heights and hire diverse leadership through key policies in transfer, affordability, equitable placement, and completion. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is Ray Culberson.
Good afternoon, board members. You guys all survived the heat. I want to thank you guys very much for being here. Ms. Betters, I just wanted to say congratulations to you and all of those things, all the others. John Longville, I haven't seen you, all the other people. Battles are beyond everything else, struggles of morale. Defeat is inevitable as soon as the hope of conquering ceases to exist. Success comes not to him who suffers least, but to him whose will is firmer and morale strongest. So many times we go through this city and we see so many battles taking place and our kids are being lost in the middle of it. I don't know all the battles. I'm a guy who's been under fire more than anybody else in this city, probably. Almost fired 13 times, multiple ways. And it never stopped me because I never counted on those people. I counted on what my mission was. My mission from the man above was to help as many kids as possible that came across my path. I did that, I did it, I survived, and I move on to the next battle. The next battle is, how do we get everybody in this community to come together? How do we get people to join together? There are many things that happen. This man, I don't know him, but I'm going to know him. I'm going to spend the time to find out about this particular person. I wore Cal colors because he went to Cal. And so there's another man that went to Cal, Don English, but he's a different sort. But my whole point in coming here is, and I'll be going to other places talking about that, I'm tired of all of the nonsense that goes along with so many different things. Whatever it is, we have to get to the point of where the students are first. Let's get that done. Let's make sure that we in Valley College, whatever the college is, we have to find a way to get past those things. There are always going to be multiple things. And like I said, I know nothing, but I do know this, that our kids are suffering and they don't care about what everything else is going on. They care about how they survive and how they get through. So I'm asking everyone here, do your due diligence, figure out whatever the strategies are. But let's make sure that we put the kids first and let's get this thing done as best we can. And let's just move forward and move on from there. And Ferdinand Foch was the general who said that in World War I. And they defeated I was going to say Nazis, but it wasn't Nazis. Whoever they defeated in World War I, they defeated them. So anyway, just want to say that. And congratulations to all you guys. You guys are all talented. And I just hope everybody just works together in the spirit of studenthood. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Denise Fierro.
Hello, good afternoon. Members of the board, Chancellor Rodriguez, and distinguished guests, my name is Denise Fierro, and I am also here in support of Dr. Gilbert Contreras. I've had the pleasure of working with him for several years at Fullerton College, and I feel the need to come here and support him and voice my sincerest admiration and support after hearing the falsehoods attempting to tarnish his impeccable reputation as an incredible leader. Dr. Contreras is a man of integrity, and I'm honored to speak on his behalf as a colleague and a friend. I am one of many aspiring leaders of color that has been mentored by Dr. Contreras. I had the pleasure of interacting with him very regularly, and I was lucky to even have him as an immediate supervisor for several years. And when I first started in the community college system, I was a teacher in the P-12 system for over 10 years. I was lost. And because of his support and his guidance, I'm a director of EOPS, Care CalWorks at FISI, and it's been thanks to that kind of support and guidance from Dr. Contreras. Also, as a first-generation, college student, Latina with immigrant parents, I was very intimidated in the role, but his role modeling and frequent check-ins made it possible for myself to thrive as well as others in our district and in our community. He was one of the first ones to step up when we needed mentors for students, when we needed mentors for community members that were asking how to advocate for our students and for our staff members as well. I had the pleasure of meeting his family and his wife and kids because they were always on campus. He always makes it a point to bring them and be part of the community, and that's what makes him stand out as a leader. I could go on forever about his character and how much of an amazing leader he is, how hardworking he has been. I mean, you've heard some of the accolades he's had, so I'm not going to name them all, but I definitely want to make sure that you understand that it saddens me and as an individual comes and tries to taint his character. These accusations are baseless and unjustified. Dr. Contreras will continue to transform institutions and lead teams to empower students, and like he has his entire career. And so frankly, I think we need more leaders like him, and it would be a shame to not have. I mean, it was very sad to see him go, but the students of this community need leaders like him in these positions, and I hope that you understand and that we're here in support of him, and we understand we've been with him for several years alongside the work, and we know how he is as an individual and as a leader, and we hope that you hear us and take that into account when. Thank you so much.
Your turn is complete.
Thank you. Next up is Graciela Galavis.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees. My name is Graciela Galavis. I have known Dr. Gilbert Contreras for over 9 years. I first met Dr. Contreras at Cerritos College while working in the Office of Student Conduct and Grievances, and again at Fullerton College within the Office of the Vice President of Student Services. Dr. Contreras has demonstrated his impactful professionalism and dedication to student success over the years. While I worked with Dr. Contreras at Cerritos College, it became apparent that he cared for our students' overall well-being. For example, when we met with students who were potentially in violation of the Code of Conduct, Dr. Contreras made it a point to first learn about the students' academic journey, their personal challenges, and academic goals. To meet with the dean is terrifying enough to any student. However, Dr. Contreras ensured that the student conduct process was a learning opportunity and never a punitive approach. Dr. Contreras demonstrated care and dedication to serving the students while upholding our community standards. Throughout the time that I have worked alongside Dr. Contreras, he has led many initiatives, including the creation of our student support resource team and the implementation of our Maxient database software. At Fullerton, our team is dedicated to ensuring the safety of all students, staff, and community members. This team is the core of making sure that students can receive support before a crisis escalates. The staff and students making sure that they receive support. Oh, hold on, I reread that line. The staff and students are overwhelmingly appreciative of the work this team has done. However, we would not be able to manage the caseload without the implementation of this online database. We are able to serve an increasing. Over time, Dr. Contreras saw the trend of increasing cases for mental health concerns, financial instability, and food and home insecurity, and advocated for the care of students and continued to meet our student needs. Dr. Contreras is well qualified and passionate about student success. His engagement with the students and campus community has always been positive, caring, and professional. At times, Dr. Contreras would take a call in the student quad and still never failed to smile or wave at someone and ask how they were doing. He is at San Bernardino Valley College because he is a leader. He is dedicated to serving students. He listens to the community and approaches their concerns in a caring manner. Throughout his leadership in higher education, Dr. Contreras has always led with love, and the goal was always to serve our students. I am fortunate enough to have worked alongside Dr. Contreras for over 9 years. I am continually impressed by his professionalism, character, and dedication to student success. The community of San Bernardino College is extremely lucky to have landed.
Your turn is complete.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is Dolores Cornejo.
Good afternoon, Chancellor and Board of Trustees. My name is Dolores Cornejo, and I'm here to share insight on Dr. Gilbert Contreras' character, both personally and professionally. Over the past 8 years, he has served admirably as Vice President of Student Services at Fullerton College, earning the deepest respect and admiration for his exceptional leadership. Gil leads with love, compassion, and steadfast commitment of being student-centered. He's a champion of the interests of students, supports faculty, uplifts classified, and extends genuine friendship to all. While Dr. Contreras' outstanding achievements in higher education are well known to this board, as they have rightfully chosen him as the 15th San Bernardino Valley College president, personal experience, Gil's unwavering periods in my life. Amid professional struggles, my family faced profound difficulties with fertility. Feeling safe, I confided in Gil, and I found immense solace in his empathy and support. And then in 2022, I prepared to deliver my first child. His joy for my family was palpable. Tragically, that elation turned into sorrow with the loss of my son. At birth, this was a devastating experience beyond words. During those darkest chapters in my life, it was his caring support of my colleagues and leaderships at work, including Gil, that sustained me. Even now, as I cherish my wonderful daughter, Gil continues to check in on me and my family and our journey. This demonstration, Gil is someone who takes time to truly understand and care for those who he works alongside. He nurtures both professional and personal well-being. This is the character of the leader of whom I believe you can confidently entrust the welfare of your students, staff, faculty, and management as a team. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is Nick Armand.
Good afternoon, Board, President Dr. Houston, members of the Board of Trustees, Chancellor Rodriguez, and distinguished guests. My name is Nick Armand. I'm a tenured counselor and coordinator of the Veterans Resource Center at Fullerton College. Today, I have the pleasure of sharing my deep admiration and unwavering support for Dr. Gilbert Contreras, newly appointed president of San Bernardino Valley College. Having known Dr. Contreras for 8 remarkable years, I can personally attest to his exceptional character, dedication, and transformative leadership. Dr. Contreras embodies altruism, servant leadership. His kind heart and commitment to helping others have left a lasting impression on every institution he has served. If I were to describe his hallmark at Fullerton College, it would be his leading with love approach and implementing a student and employee-centered philosophy that has brought about many significant positive changes. Throughout his time at FC, Dr. Contreras spearheaded many initiatives, many you've heard tonight, which has impacted both students and the community. He established programs, behavioral health services, the tuition-free promise program, dedicated cultural center. He helped establish Veterans Golf Classic Tournament, which was raised over $150,000 for our student veterans. And he also established institutional anti-racism statement. These initiatives reflect his visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to fostering supportive environment. When faced with personal challenges, such as battling with cancer, Dr. Contreras' dedication to helping others never wavered. Upon his return, he established the Fight Cancer Scholarship to support students confronting this disease, again showing his unconditional support and love for his students. Dr. Contreras' passion for student success combined with his extensive experience and innovating approach to leadership make him an exceptional choice for president. of San Bernardino Valley College on making the right decision on hiring Dr. Contreras as your 15th president. Margaret Wheatley once said, "There is no power for change greater than a community discovering what it cares about." Dr. Contreras has not only discovered what he cares about, but has also inspired entire communities to care and act in ways that promote equity, inclusion, and compassion. I want to close by saying that San Bernardino Valley College is incredibly fortunate to have Dr. Contreras as its new president. Under his guidance and leadership, I'm confident the San Bernardino Valley College will thrive and continue to set new standards of excellence in higher education. I've got 28 seconds, so I'm going to say, Dr. C, if I may, you left rather large shoes to fill, both figuratively and literally. Thank you for your years of service at Fulton College and the North Orange County Community College District, your leadership, compassion, support, mentorship, and friendship. I'm excited for you about this new opportunity and honestly can't wait things that will happen in your leadership and your new chapter in your life.
Your turn is complete.
Thank you. Next up is Dana Timmermans.
Good afternoon, San Bernardino County Community College District Board of Trustees, district representatives, college representatives, and community members. My name is Dana Timmermans. I am the former Director of Behavioral Health Services for Fullerton College. During my 7 years at Fullerton College, I worked under the leadership of Dr. Gil Contreras, both directly and indirectly. I am here to tell you of the Gil Contreras that I know. But first, please know that I have worked in many different positions with many leaders over the last 40 years. And I've been a military officer. I've worked in hospitals, major hospitals, Fortune 5 companies, County of Orange, the state of California, and I was a civilian contractor with the Department of Defense. And I worked for 2 community colleges, which is more important. While in the military, one of my responsibilities was to evaluate service members for fitness of duty. As a part of my interview, I'd asked them how they felt about their leadership, how they felt about their commanders. Many reported frustration and indifference. Some spoke with admiration of their leaders and told me that they would follow that leader into hell. That may seem odd to non-service members, but praise. And Dr. Contreras is such a leader. I've had the honor of working with Dr. Contreras, a dedicated servant leader focused on student success and excellence. He's principled and fair, a creative, visionary leader, skilled in managing, motivating, and getting things done. Under his leadership, Fullerton College developed countless success stories, if you heard some of them already today, programs that become models for the rest of the state. When times are difficult, he was there to lead. He encouraged and rolled up his sleeves when necessary. We felt safe because we were safe. When I learned Dr. Contreras was leaving Fullerton College, I knew it was time for me to retire from higher education. San Bernardino Valley College is fortunate to have Dr. Gil Contreras as their president, and I count myself blessed for having him as a manager, a leader. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. This concludes our public comment. So at this time, we're moving on to agenda item 3, which is our clarification section. Do we have any clarification from staff?
No clarifications, Madam.
Okay, so now we're on to item number 4, which is exciting, our oath of office. So we are going to have Dr. Betters come up and come forward to receive the oath of office, and then we'll ask for Senator Rosalisi Ochoa to also come up to administer the oath. We'll go right up front. Is that sure? And all the people.
Dr. Betters has requested that if all of our elected officials join her, or do I say stand with her, as she takes the oath of office. So we welcome you to come to the front of the room as well. You know she's going to make you all, so come on.
Oh, thank you, Heather.
Come on, y'all. Come on. Come in. Come close. Come close. Come close. Is this close enough? I'm ready. We're going to get close and share it.
I don't need the microphone.
You don't need it.
I, state your name,
I, Sharina Betters,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear faith
United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well
and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is why I'm not married. It started feeling like vows. I couldn't do it. You want to give this mic to somebody? Thank you, thank you, dog. Thank you. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
mean, I have my fingers.
Well,
This will go red. That means it's hot.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to call the meeting back to order. And with that, return to the dais. Trustee betters will return to the dais as we go on to item 5 of the agenda, which is approval of the minutes. We have 3 sets of minutes. So from June 13th, 2024, and the regular meeting, and then June 24, 24, and June 25, 24, which was our retreat. Do I have a motion and a second? Do we have any discussion? Okay, hearing none, we're going to start with our student trustee advisory vote electronically, which we will show. There we go. And now we will the rest of us vote. Okay, voting is closed. Motion carries. We are now on to item 6, which is recognition and celebrations. We will show the applause cards. And let's recognize with applause the recipients for extending extra effort. Okay, summer months. Yes. A little less effort during the summer. Okay, so now this time I'm going to turn it over to Chancellor Rodriguez, who will recognize our retirements.
Thank you, Chair Houston. So this month we have been noticed that we have one individual retiring, Elaine Akers, from the Health Services Coordinator at San Bernardino Valley College after 20 years of academic contract service with the district. Elaine has submitted her letter of intent to retire effective December 31st, 2024. Elaine began her employment with the district as a health services coordinator, a position that she has held her entire professional career. We truly appreciate all of the work that she has done and especially appreciate the care that she has provided for all of our students, not only at San Bernardino Valley College, but across the district and across the community. We thank her for her service.
All right, thank you for that. Okay, so now we are on to our provisional appointment for Trustee Area 5 and our candidate interviews. So pursuant to Education Code 5091, On May 23, 2024, the Board of Trustees voted to accept the resignation of Trustee Gloria Macias Harrison, effective June 30, 2024, and to fill the vacancy by provisional appointment. The person appointed shall hold office until the next regularly scheduled election for district board members and shall be afforded all the powers and duties of a board member upon appointment. Also pursuant to Education Code 35178, a member of the governing board of a school district who has tendered a resignation with a deferred effective date pursuant to Section 5090 shall, until the effective date of the resignation, continue to have the right and exercise the powers of any member of the governing board, except they shall not have the right to vote for their successor. Okay, so at this time, we are going to begin our interviews. We have an interview process, and this is how it's going to go. We each have a ranking sheet. There will be 2 rounds of ranking, round 1 and round 2. Each round will eliminate 2 candidates. The board will have further discussion on the top 2 candidates before a motion is made to select the provisional appointment. Appointment is not successful, meaning with a vote of 4 trustees, the position will stay vacant until the next election. So at this time, let's see, we, I think, are ready for our first candidate. Oh, you're here. Okay. So this is Carlos Aguilera. Okay, thank you. You will have 10 minutes. So the timer is on all of the screens. So do you see the timer? All the screens. Okay, so it will start after I ask you. We have 1 question for you. And once I ask the question, the timer will start and you will have 10 minutes.
Sounds good.
Are you ready? Yes. Okay, here we go. So please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. Your time starts now.
Thank you. First and foremost, thank you to the outgoing trustee board members. With much respect, thank you for all your years of service and dedication to our community. I wish each of you the best health and success moving forward. Hola, buenos dias. It's an honor and privilege to be here. My name is Carlos Aguilera. As a resident of the San Bernardino Mountains, I'm excited to share my qualifications in becoming the Area 5 trustee. I'm the oldest son of working class immigrants. I grew up in the San Bernardino Community College District area near Crafton Hills, graduated Yucaipa High. After working hard and graduating from college, I started my career in public service, working in the city of Rialto, giving back to the IE. I continued my career in policy by working at the state level for various agencies and earned a Master's of Public Administration from the University of Southern California. Working for the governor's administration in Sacramento, I learned the importance of balancing various policy priorities, understanding that there's limited resources and there's a lot of budget priorities that we need to address. I also worked with diverse stakeholders, such as elected officials and community advocates. At the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, I led a $1 billion initiative working with leaders to address recovery needs in the health and human services sector. I'm comfortable with making tough policy decisions, analyzing issues, looking at the costs and benefits, and understanding there's always constraints and priorities. I testified before the Assembly and Senate committees, including the Assembly Committee on Appropriations, as part of the governor's administration working on the California budget. Most recently, while pursuing my PhD in political science at Howard University, I gained experience while at the federal government, understanding how to improve and address government inefficiencies. I'm currently the Civic Engagement Director for the California Primary Care Association. We collaborate with community health centers across the state and help over 7 million patients. Also, as a professor of public policy at the University of Redlands, it's been a joy to give back to the community that has helped me the most. Working with the students, I learn from them what their needs are and how the community colleges can also be first and foremost of service to them. I've seen firsthand myself as I attended Crafton Hills College, Community College, and know the value of local institutions in our community. Actually, it's funny, Crafton was the first college institution I ever studied I was shocked and awe, and I knew that was for me. I have spent over a decade in public service focused on advocating for policies and laws to uplift our communities. I bring a unique experience of having grown up in the area, but also gained policy skills at the highest levels of government. I'm incredibly passionate about the IE, the place that I call home. I believe education is fundamental and central to our future. I know my wife and I look forward to one day raising our kids here and seeing them prosper. Being a trustee aligns with my goals as I'm passionate about improving education. This is my why. I remember myself as a young boy in ESL classes and Head Start and know how education access can really help you out and set you up for a career in the future. I have witnessed our region struggle, but my dream is to see our region thrive by educating residents and providing quality career opportunities. Community colleges are at the center of creating a strong economic ecosystem in the area. As a resident of the San Bernardino Mountains, we will work together to ensure we can best serve all of Area 5. It's especially important to community colleges serve people from all walks of life and are fundamental pillars in the area. The IE will only continue to grow, as we've seen in many reports, and we need to be prepared. As we have seen, even San Bernardino Valley College has experienced a significant enrollment increase in the spring semester of 2024. This just demonstrates an appetite for education. Although we're not yet at the numbers of pre-COVID, we will continue to grow. The mission of the Community College District is to positively impact the lives and careers of our students through excellence in education and training opportunities. 66.9% of IE adults do not have an associate's degree, and there is a qualifications gap here. But I believe the Community College District can address this. Community colleges play a crucial role in equipping students with the skills, knowledge needed to succeed in their careers and contribute positively to the communities. As a professor, I see the value as community colleges are part of the educational pipeline for a four-year university, students for life. As we know, not all students want to go to a four-year university. However, we need to be there as the fundamental institution to help them gain the skills that are needed. I can attribute that community colleges have been critical in my life. They have not just helped myself, but have helped my family. I recall in 2008, when my father lost his job due to the economic downturn, he was able to go back to community college, learn skills, and get a new career. It's also helped my youngest brother with dual enrollment, which I believe is a critical program that helps students to get a foot in the door and also learn about universities and colleges. Community colleges can be more responsive and flexible to our region's needs. My commitment to our colleges and districts is rooted in my dedication to public service and equity. In the fall of 2022 semester, 82.3% of the San Bernardino County Community College District student population were from historically underrepresented groups. I'm dedicated to making sure that we serve our students and help uplift the region. San Bernardino Valley College and Crafton Hills College play an essential role in educating residents to meet our economic needs. Together, we can inspire possibilities for bright futures, a prosperous community, which is the Community College District's vision. I see the need for students to receive quality education that's connected to real-world applications. I'm also dedicated to enhancing the curriculum so we can ensure that people have what they need for the evolving job market. While working closely with the Chancellor's office, faculty, and other to foster an environment of innovation, continuous improvement, where new ideas and approaches are embraced to better serve our students. One thing that I admire is the commitment to access and affordability, as we know that college and education needs to be accessible to all. Focus on serving diverse and underrepresented communities is what creates a vibrant learning environment that reflects the diversity of the region. Continuing education and lifelong learning opportunities are also a hallmark of the Community College District, allowing members to explore new interests and pursue personal enrichment. Enhancing partnerships with local businesses and community organizations is something we need to continue to do. I know there's a program called the Inland Regional Energy Network, which is right here in our backyard that is a good paying job for students with just an associate's degree. However, most recently, out of 500 plus applicants, only about 20 were from the Inland Empire, which is saying a lot because we need to make sure our students know that these programs exist for them. Outreach will only continue to help our efforts and help raise awareness of the programs and opportunities available. As board members, I hope if given the opportunity, to ensure I have a collaborative relationship with each and every single one of you. I hope to learn from you all, and I hope we can lean on each other for help. As a board, our responsibility is with the community, and we must work together and not as individuals. I believe trust is the most important and key to success. To build trust, you need what I call the 3 C's: communication, collaboration, and consistency. That is the secret. The role is to set an overall direction and policies for the college, while we need to work with the Chancellor's office as they are responsible for implementing those policies and managing operations. While the board and Chancellor have distinct roles, the relationship is collaborative and is critical in servicing our students. Board members should provide strategic direction and oversight while supporting the Chancellor's office in its overall responsibilities. I believe for all the reasons, I am the most qualified to represent. I am available for any questions.
Okay, thank you. We'll go ahead and we're not doing questions. So that was your opportunity. So at this time, we are going to break and or transition to the next candidate. Not sure. And I just want to say that there was a Q and not a G on my script. I know how to say the name. It was just, there was a typo that threw me off. So, okay, so James Albert is here? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bring James Albert up, in, over. Okay, James, you have 10 minutes. The timers are on all of the screens. So do you see the timer? There's there. You're probably not going to look behind you, but just in case you decide to speak to the audience, there is one behind you as well. Okay? All right. As soon as there's one question, you'll have 10 minutes, the entire 10 minutes. As soon as I stop talking, the timer will start and the time will be yours. Okay, so here we go. You ready? Okay, please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they help advance the mission and vision of the Community College District. Your time starts now.
Thank you so much, and pleasure to be with you all. My name is James Albert. I've lived in the city of San Bernardino since 2000. My family, my parents and I'm an only child. We moved from LA in 2000, and we've called this place home pretty much ever since. I went to Parkside Elementary School, graduated Aquinas High School in 2009 in the midst of the financial crash. I know it's kind of hard to believe now, but Aquinas High School was on the brink of closure when I was graduating, and I'm fortunate to say that when I was growing up, I was a competitive athlete. I played junior golf, I played competitive basketball at a very young age, but I was always kind of leaning towards my golf career. I was really passionate about it. I traveled throughout the state playing competitive junior golf tournaments, and I thought that was going to be my life. And about middle school, I decided to start taking basketball a little bit more seriously. I transferred to Aquinas High School, and we had a team that wasn't necessarily known for its basketball culture, and we were always kind of ranking towards the bottom of the field. And we were able to, with that serious commitment, we were able to turn around our basketball team from essentially cellar dwellers to league champions 3 years in a row. And I credit that experience as the experience of being able to adapt from different changing environments and cultures from golf to basketball. And what it enabled me, because the plan was essentially to get a golf scholarship, but with the financial crash, that adaptability was able to actually afford me the opportunity to get a basketball scholarship to Cal State Monterey Bay, as well as a Pell Grant, where I was able to study years being a student athlete. And that support that I had as a student athlete, I had a wonderful time and experience. I graduated in 4 years, and it's something that I definitely think of as a privilege, but I want my privileges to not be an exception, but the norm for everyone. And I know that there's plenty of barriers in our district that are preventing people from achieving opportunity, unlocking our full potential. And that's why I'm here, is that I believe that our community college district is that resource to unlocking not only individual lives, but also the full potential. I definitely believe that it's going to be our community college system that helps people connect with quality jobs here in our area, with family supporting benefits. And I definitely think that although I didn't go to the community college system, I went straight into CSU, I definitely think it's that accessibility, that pathway that people can afford. And I want to just say that in terms of the issues that are definitely a priority to me, I definitely want to take advantage of expanding dual enrollment, making sure that we're achieving our state goals as afforded by the state chancellor, saying that we need to expand it to folks that are as early as 9th grade, and it's essentially reaching the credits that they need to high school to hopefully bridge that partnership with our K through 12 system and expand that to opportunities, whether they want to advance to a 4-year degree, whether we should explore the collaboration and opportunities that exist with our community college baccalaureate programs to provide an even more affordable pathway. I'm certainly open to it. One of the things that also drives me to this community college system, especially our community college district, is KVCR. I've actually been a regular, avid listener to KVCR in the years that I've been here. And I think that it's a source of deep enrichment for our communities in terms of that we're seeing on a daily basis at the national level and the local level in terms of the disinformation and misinformation that exists. I truly believe KVCR is not only going to also in helping inform and empower our communities so that they can be more civically engaged and empowered in the process to, again, hopefully reach our full potential. As someone who's been in the city of San Bernardino for over 23 years, I always come across folks that are saying, San Bernardino, the reason why I stay is I believe San Bernardino, has such great potential. And if we're truly going to make that a reality, I think it's really incumbent on the people that are going to start this is the San Bernardino Community College District, and that's why I'm here. Since graduating from Cal State Monterey Bay, I've been involved in several public service-oriented organizations, employers, from doing a survey on the American Housing Survey through the Census Bureau, actually scheduling vaccination appointments here in our community with folks. So I definitely understand the barriers that exist and are essentially trapping folks in a constant state of poverty. And I definitely believe that the community college system is the way that we can make sure that opportunity extends to everyone and not just over the last couple of years, I've actually been working with the county through multiple departments, but I'm happy to say I'm at the Public Defender's Office downtown. Again, another privileged experience living in San Bernardino and working in San Bernardino. I definitely see that my privilege, it shouldn't be hoarded by the few, but it should be extended to everyone. And I definitely, again, go back to how our community college system plays a role in that. As someone who actually went through Cal State Monterey Bay, I was actually placed in what was then referred to as a remedial education writing class, and something that I definitely wanted to have a point of emphasis on is making sure that we're equitable in mind and practice in terms of how we're placing our students in programs where they can obviously earn credit while they do it, but also receive the support that they need. I definitely believe in having high expectations, but also high support for those expectations to improve our student outcomes. I think it's also one of the biggest priorities is obviously our region has been hardest by the rising cost of living, more so than any other metro area in the nation. And I think it's important that we be really clear about trying to meet our needs of our students and our faculty that I think go hand in hand in terms of student success. And so when I'm thinking about how obviously providing an affordable pathway to higher education, but how can we meet the needs of our students? And I thank you, Chancellor, for being a leader on that and connecting folks with access and security, and also how can we continue to expand the conversation about providing affordable housing, essentially for also affordable childcare with our San Bernardino Valley College Resource Center. Definitely want to see how we can expand on that, and also transportation, which I think are the three biggest expenses that come across with working class families. And again, I think if we're going to be a quality job center, I think our district needs to become a model employer. and making sure that every employee in our district, from the chancellor on down, a livable wage and benefits, and we do so in a sustainable manner. In terms of the values that I think that I align with in terms of our community college system, I think I talked a little bit about it already. Accessibility, inclusion is critical. Integrity, I'm definitely someone who's been out in the community through community-based organizations, been involved. One of the things I'm most proud actually of is through a local board, we've done a lot of civic education presentations in the high schools actually. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is that I kind of recognized, even being 10 years removed from my bachelor's degree, I'm not as in tune with what students are actually going through on a regular basis as of right now. And so one of the things that I implemented actually was actually training the students to live themselves, which really and successful outcomes in terms of registering over 2,000 to 3,000 high school students to vote here in this area, and expanding civic literacy throughout the region, which I'm really proud of. One of the things I'm also proud about is actually engaging with the former student leadership pre-COVID and working with them to actually adopt resolutions in support of getting more funding for our schools, community colleges, and local governments through the Schools and Communities First campaign, which I'm proud that this district actually supported that resolution and supported that campaign. Although we came up short, we definitely promoted a viable solution to our volatile state tax system that I think that we need to be very clear about in terms of how we can provide a more stable funding mechanism so that we can better set long-term goals to help promote student success. And thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll yield the rest of my time for any questions.
Okay. You have the whole 10 minutes, so
Thank you.
if you're finished, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay, at this time, I think we're on to candidate number 3, so Pam Montana. Come on up. All right, so you're gonna have 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'll let you get yourself settled in there. If you look at the monitors, there are 4 monitors, 2 in the front. So in the event you want to
I need to put my glasses on.
Right? So the timer, once we start, the timer will start. Once I stop talking, the timer will start.
Okay.
So we have one question for you, and you'll have the entire 10 minutes to address the question. Are you ready?
Yes. So I'll have 10 minutes for all of these questions?
No, for one question that I'm
Oh.
going to ask right now.
Okay.
Okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So here's the question you'll have 10 minutes for. Please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 question. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. Okay, so your time starts now.
Okay. Well, first I want to say hello to everyone. And again, my name is Pam Montana, and thank you for being here to hear what I have to say. So first of all, I just kind of went blank on everything. You know that? I just, so let me give you a brief, just my background and where I come from and why I feel that this position is my calling. This is where I feel that I should be. Back when I can't even tell you how old I was, but I was a young girl. And at first I always thought I was going to be a sports broadcaster because I loved sports so much. And my dad taught me everything. But secretly, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. So I would teach my sister and my brother, and I would write and I would play school. And I remember at that time, I didn't have a chalkboard or a whiteboard. And so I would write on my walls. And I was able to hide it from my parents for so long because I just kept the door closed until finally my mom caught me and I was busted with that. But that was the opening for me. I knew was my calling. So I started off as a classroom teacher, and I absolutely loved it. I moved on from the classroom, and I was in another capacity, but still with children, working with children. So now I work with foster youth and helping them navigate through the educational system. And so it can be challenging, but it's also rewarding. And so I'm here today because, I really started to think about, education isn't for everybody, or being in education isn't for everyone. And I was recently at a conference, and there was one of the keynote speakers, and he said something so profoundly, it affected me profoundly. And what he said was that not everyone is made out, and pretty much not, and this is how I took it, not everyone is made out to be an educator. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that that is not your calling. And that's when it really resonated with me that this is where I'm supposed to be. And so San Bernardino is my home. I know it's home to a lot of people. It's been my calling to remain here, to help the students flourish, to help them navigate through the educational system. And so then that way that they know that we can eliminate the barriers that are here in our city. I am tired of hearing so much negativity about San Bernardino. Or I'm tired about hearing some of our students that we lose. We need to retain and to keep our students here. We have really good students. And I push for Valley College. I'm going to say Valley College because I'm from San Bernardino. I've remained in the city, but also because I did graduate. My roots are here. And I see it as there's no better place. It's affordable. I know that for foster youth, we have the Guardian Scholars Program, which I definitely tell our foster youth, so many of our foster youth, and I'm going to talk about them because that's currently who I work with, but I tell them, go to a community college. There's nothing wrong with going to Valley College, or if you want to go to Crafton. It's affordable. So many of our students, their first instinct is they want to move away, they want to go somewhere else. We have so much to offer here. I've mentored with young girls from middle college, and this is what I tell them. Civic engagement is key. Get involved in your city. Get to know people. I mentor, I advise them, and I tell them because there are so many people here that can help you. And I'm going to use myself as an example. I was recruited to join a service group. And I'm going to say Kiwanis of Greater San Bernardino because that is the group that I belong to. And I knew nothing about it, just that, you ate at Meatla's every Tuesday. So I was like, hey, I'm in. But I met some fantastic people that helped navigate the way for me to where I needed to go. And I can honestly say we had trustee Gloria Macias Harrison, who was a member. Former President Dr. Luis Gomez. These are people that come with a wealth of knowledge for our young students. And we're not engaging our students with that, with service groups, with these people that offer so much expertise. And let me tell you, once you get them talking, know when to stop. And the best thing about it is they offer free advice. And so I would really encourage our students to get involved in our city. And if not with Kiwanis, there are other groups. I also am involved with, I'm also chair for Women United, which is under it's the umbrella, it's a professional group under the umbrella of Arrowhead United Way. And we work with young women. And I can kick myself in the behind because I'm going to tell you, it was really hard to navigate things during a pandemic. But we were able to. We were able to still, because what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring community leaders. And that is what I want for our students. I want students to be able to look at you and know I can be you one day. Because I tell young people, we're not going to be here forever. It is up to us to plant that seed so that they can carry on the work that we're doing. United, we work with young girls to be able to help them in education, in health, in financial stability. 2 years ago, I brought in, it was through Zoom, but I still had Majority Leader Aloise Gomez-Reyes speak, Chancellor Rodriguez, Senator Ochoa Bogue. And I can say that this past year, we had the distinct pleasure of having Mrs. Connie Leyva speak to us about KVCR. I want to be able to bring our college students. We have such a rich and diverse culture here that we need to show our kids that these are the kind of programs, these are the kind of people that we have. And it's a perfect way for them to communicate with us, to network with us, and for us to show them. Because if we're not doing that for our youth, then we are doing a disservice to them. And I'm trying to think of what else I am involved in. So I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about what we can do for our youth. And I feel that being in this role will, although I've never sat on a community college, but I have attended community college, I work with young people, and I feel that although I am not an expert in everything, and I don't know everything, but I'm a connector, and if I can't find where to find, if I can't provide them the answer or the resources, I definitely will go to someone who can. And so I feel that is what I can bring to the table to make it, we need to cultivate and nourish a positive culture for our students so that we engage them, we support them, most of all, we celebrate them. And so I'm excited about whatever I can do, and whatever the outcome is, it is not going to stop me from being who I am and working with the youth or doing the things that I do. Because when we do this, and like the keynote speaker said, it's just innate. It's just in you to do it. It's because you have this spark and this fire to do it. And we don't do it to be, we're humble about it. And so, I want to be able to work together with our community members for the better good of our students. And so I'm trying to think of what else, Miss Houston, you were asking me, because I just kind of just...
I can repeat the question if you'd like.
Sure.
Okay, so introduction of yourself. Reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions, please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. 20 seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds. And eliminate barriers, having affordable college for our students, the books, being able, I know that we have books that are affordable that our students can rent, so to continue to keep that up. And number one, to invest in our students.
Your turn is complete.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we are on to candidate number 4, who appears to be here, James Morris. Okay, so we have a 10-minute timer for you. There are timers on each of the 4 screens, 2 in front of you, 2 behind you, in case you want to turn around. And once I stop talking and finish asking, there's 1 question, and you'll have the entire 10 minutes to address the question.
Great.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. So please provide a brief introduction of yourself, relevant to the application, and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. So your time starts now.
Well, good evening, trustees and Chancellor Rodriguez. My name is Jim Morris. It's an honor to be with you this evening and to have this opportunity. Trustee Betters, congratulations and welcome. You are an absolutely outstanding addition to the board. You've got a tough decision tonight, trustees. There are some very well-qualified and compelling applicants from which to choose, which is a great sign for the district and its leadership. I want to start with telling you a bit about my origin story, focused on my educational journey, as it's played a fundamental role in shaping who I am today and why I think I'm an excellent fit for representing the Trustee Area 5 and the wide array of constituents and interests across our entire community college district. I was born, raised, and educated in San Bernardino. My primary education began at a pivotal moment in San Bernardino's history when our schools finally began the critical work of desegregation and integration. Inadequate progress by our school board in the 1950s and 60s to address the impacts of de jure and de facto segregational equality resulted in the NAACP successfully suing our schools. And in 1976, just before I started the third grade, the judge handed down the decision in the case, and I was put on a bus and shipped across the town with about 25 other kids to a highly segregated elementary school in San Bernardino. Every year thereafter, it was a different school and a different learning experience about diversity and integration, about how to embrace and love our differences, while building on the common ground we all found in the dreams we shared, the things that made us laugh, the games we played on the playground, the music we listened to, and the ideas that sparked our imaginations. I went on to Golden Valley Junior High School and Cajon High School in San Bernardino, where there were student bodies that were very diverse, but still struggling with integration and with racial and ethnic conflicts on the campus. For me, blessed with my early educational journey, I was prepared to thrive in these environments as ASB presidents, on the sports teams, and out in the quad, as a bridge builder in a highly diverse student body, still figuring out how to understand, respect, and form genuine bonds across our differences. In short, growing up in San Bernardino in the 1970s and 80s taught me how to listen, to understand, befriend, and to who have a different lived experience from me, people who are from different cultures, ethnicities, races, and socioeconomic backgrounds from me. It cemented in me a lifelong commitment to help to work towards realizing that vision of a beautifully diverse, inclusive, fair, and equitable society. For college, however, I decided to go as far away from home as I could, to seek new challenges at Dartmouth College back in New Hampshire. Initially, I really struggled. I was a complete fish out of water, a middle-class kid from San Bernardino at an Ivy League school in the 1980s. Almost all the students came from some privileged backgrounds. They went to East Coast private schools and often were from families of significant means. So once again, I had to learn how to reach out across and relate to and befriend people from very different socioeconomic backgrounds. Only this time, it fixed within me a real passion, which I began to realize then and still believe today is the biggest threat to that goal of a diverse, inclusive, fair, and equitable society. After college, I worked for several years in the California State Senate, then got disillusioned with state politics, returned home to San Bernardino to help start the county's first coalition on homelessness. Eventually, I found my way back to school at UCLA for both a law degree and a master's in urban planning. With a mountain of student debt, I was really tempted to accept a job with a downtown corporate LA law firm, but I knew my passion was working in my home region of the Inland Empire, and especially with public agencies, which I perceived then and still today as the true engines that can drive us towards that beautiful vision for our society. So I returned to my community, bought a small home in North San Bernardino where I still live today, got married, and made a commitment with my wife to raise our 2 boys and educate them in the same community that shaped my character, my values, and my walk in life, hoping it would impart to them similar important lessons and understandings of the world and the commitments to civic engagement and the common good. And it has. Their lived experience in San Bernardino and its schools has delivered, again, a beautifully unique and healthy foundation for their future growth and journeys. I'm immensely proud to be from San Bernardino and to continue to live here and work here. I deeply believe in our children who are educated and raised here. I want to help prepare them for the widest and most ambitious of opportunities that lead to lifelong well-being for them and their families. At the heart of that belief and hope is the critical success of our K-16 education system. And that's why I'm here this evening, seeking your appointment to be part of stewarding that educational success for our students at our 2 community colleges. So, why Jim Morris? As I've stated, you've got some very compelling applicants before you tonight. So why me? You have now some of my foundational makings, my lived educational experience. You also have my written application in your board packet that details my careful reflection on the strengths of our 2 community colleges and the challenges ahead. So with my remaining time, I would like to tell you about my distinct and specific professional experience and expertise and my civic and educational engagements over the past 30 years that I believe uniquely prepare me to immediately add strong value as your colleague on the Board of Trustees. For almost 3 decades, I have worked with and advised public agencies, the elected boards, and the executive leadership in multiple capacities, legally, financially, administratively, and politically. I began my career as a public law attorney with Best and Krieger in Riverside, serving as legal counsel to multiple public agencies throughout the Inland Empire with the city of San Bernardino, first in the mayor's office, then in the city manager's office, on economic development and infrastructure opportunities in our city. And in this most recent decade, I've worked as a public finance advisor to cities throughout California, wrestling with their long-term financial viability and sustainability. Civically and educationally, here's a few of my most recent engagements. In 2008, I was instrumental in helping bring the Lewis Center for Educational Research to San Bernardino, and still is a very novel and ambitious 90% Spanish dual immersion language program at the Norton Science and Language Academy. Subsequently, our 2 boys went there, and I served on the governing board as we built and opened the new campus on Waterman just up the street. I've also served for the last 7 years on the Making Hope Happen Foundation as a founding member, working to help the vision for the Uplift San Bernardino initiative that's focused on building the next generation of success in our Inland Empire region. Finally, I'm deeply involved as a volunteer with the Life Skills program at San Bernardino High School, through which we help students build critical communication proficiencies, socio-emotional intelligence, and leadership skills during weekly meetings that I attend with them on Monday morning throughout the school year. In summary, through real-world experience over the last 30 years, I understand intimately the dynamics of successful board leadership. Active listening, compromise, and consensus building. I've sat and worked with elected board through difficult open and closed sessions involving legal, personnel matters, labor negotiations, budgetary challenges, financial strategies. And I've actively worked for many years to help address some of the educational and economic challenges facing our students and their families in San Bernardino. It would be an honor to join you as a humble colleague on the Board of Trustees and to work shoulder to shoulder as we capitalize on our challenges ahead for our 2 community colleges. I appreciate your consideration of my application and for your valuable time this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, we'll take a 5-minute, 5? Okay, we'll take a 5-minute break. We're going to call this meeting back to order. We'll ask everybody to return to their seats so we can get started again. So we have our 5th candidate. You can do it after the meeting. We have our 5th candidate. That is Henry Nickel, who will be making his way to the podium. All of our trustees have returned? Yes, okay. Hi there. So you have 10 minutes. There are timers on each of the screens, so 2 here, 2 behind you. If you decide to turn around, they'll be there for you.
Okay.
There is 1 question. I will ask the question when I stop talking and finish with the question. That's when your timer will start, and you have the full 10 minutes to answer the question.
Sure.
All right?
Okay.
All set?
Sure.
Okay, so here we go. Provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the Community College District.
Sure.
And your time starts now.
My name is Henry Nickel. I apologize. I'm recovering from an eye injury, but I assure you I'm not. I served on our city council for 7 years. I was elected in 2014 and went through some of the toughest times that our community has faced. I understand the hard work that we have to do collectively as a community. I've also served as an educator. I was a substitute teacher for a period of time in our local school district. I am a product of this college district. I attended Crafton Hills College. I've attended Valley. I hold an undergraduate degree from American University in Washington, D.C., and received my graduate degree from Cal State San Bernardino. This is a great community that we serve. It's a community with many challenges, great diversity, great opportunity. My day job is as a labor market analyst for our local workforce development board and department for the county of San Bernardino. So my day job is to look at data, and I look at our labor market, looking at how we can best align the training providers that provide opportunities for our community and the employment opportunities that are here. And I think what I can bring to this board is a perspective in terms of how we can begin aligning the work that we're doing at the county level in terms of workforce development and education. With the San Bernardino County is to oversee what we call our eligible training provider list. What is that? Well, that is the list of eligible training providers within our county that provide programs for our residents to be trained in those jobs and in those career fields and occupations that are in demand. And I think that's where I can provide some input and some assistance on this board. I think collectively, we have an obligation to serve this community, to meet the needs of this community in terms of I am a product of this system, and I am very proud to say that I'm from San Bernardino. I'm very proud to have served this community, and I'd be very proud to continue serving this community. I look to all of you for your input and your leadership, and I look to work collaboratively. I think my experience as a council member and the work we did to bring our city out of bankruptcy was one that necessitated collaboration. I understand the necessity of working together, of looking at how we can achieve common objectives together to meet the needs of this community and to advance this community. So with that consideration, I would greatly appreciate your consideration today. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I don't think I need to take the full 10 minutes. I certainly could if you want me to, but I think that gives you a good overview of who I am and where I'm from. I do live in the 5th ward of the city. I live near Cal State San Bernardino, so I'm very familiar with the demographics of this district, the challenges and opportunities of this district. We have great opportunities in terms of infrastructure. We have great opportunities in terms of healthcare, in terms of construction, in terms of our education system. I think we have great opportunities for our local youth to become engaged in the upward trajectory of this community. And I think we have an opportunity as a college district to contribute to that. And I think given my expertise, my background, my experience, I can help to do that as well. I enjoy engaging in our community. One of the things I did as a council member was host regular community meetings with constituents. I would like to continue that process as a member of this college board. I think it's very important for our constituents to understand the work that we do and to have an engagement with them to understand how we can best serve them and best align in a way that will achieve the goals and objectives that will meet their needs as well. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Otherwise, I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. That was our question, so thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we're going to go to candidate number 6, Fatima Sanchez. So you will have 10 minutes. The timers are on the screens, 2 in front of you, 2 behind you if you decide to turn around. I have one question. Entire 10 minutes to address the elements of the question. As soon as I stop talking, that's when the timer will start. Are you all set?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. So please provide a brief introduction of yourself relevant to the application and reflecting on your application responses to the 11 questions. Please summarize your key ideas and explain how they will help advance the mission and vision of the community college district. And your time starts now.
Thank you. Good evening. Fatima Cristerna Sanchez de Adame. Whenever possible, I'd like to honor all my peoples who got me here. And I am honored to stand before you today and deeply committed to the student's success. And I believe that my unique background and experiences make me the best candidate to represent and advocate for our community colleges. But let me take a quick second to thank Ms. Gloria Macias Harrison, although she's not here, because the highlight of my youth was going to the Villaseñor Library and Meat Las Cafe and picking up El Chicano newspaper. So I'm ever so grateful for serving this community and this community college board. So wherever she's at, thank you for leaving a huge seat and big shoes to be filled. My journey throughout the educational system has been marked by determination, resilience, and a steadfast commitment to academic excellence, having spent 23 of my formative years as an undocumented person in this country. Despite not being born here, San Bernardino and its many amazing people have raised me. I stand before you today on the shoulders of literal giants. It was Inland Empire future leaders and the support of Drs. Tom and Lily Rivera and so many other leaders in this program that taught me about the importance of college, servant leadership, and civic engagement. I began my higher education journey with their help at San Bernardino Valley College, where I earned my AA degree after being accepted and subsequently turned away by a UC school due to my status. From Valley, I transferred to Cal State San Bernardino. Go Yotes! Go Yotes! Bachelor's and my master's degree, and throughout my academic journey, I remained undocumented, facing numerous hurdles, but never losing sight of my goals. That experience has given me a profound understanding of some of the barriers that many of our students face, and it has fueled my passion for advocating for many inclusive and supportive educational environments for all students. You see, I was pre-DACA and pre-DREAM Act. I had to pay for every cent of my educational journey, but I didn't do it alone. I did both local and statewide, and with the community organizations like Kiwanis of Greater San Bernardino and state organizations like HACU. I had support from people like the Brown family who took me under their wings and allowed me to write for the Black Voice News and work with the Black Voice Foundation on their Footsteps to Freedom tour, even when they weren't supposed to. Currently, my husband is a student at Valley College. He's watching online because he's taking a midterm. You better pass it. And he works full-time during the day and spends nights and weekends in class. I also have 2 nieces, 19 and 21, who are at Riverside Community College because they wouldn't dare follow in their aunt's footsteps, who are also working students, and it helps give me insight into current student barriers and challenges. The last 12 years I have spent my working life contributing to the educational landscape in Southern California by supporting K-12 public schools, specifically charter schools in San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange, and San Diego and Imperial. Understand the challenges faced by our K-12 students and families who turn around and become community college families. Both for work and in my personal time, I have worked to educate and lobby legislators at the state and federal levels, advocating for educational funding and equity, among so many other things. Because of my future leaders' upbringing, I have worked and volunteered for dozens of local political campaigns since I was 15 years old. During my time at Valley, I was actively involved in the Associated Student Government, where I had the opportunity to work closely with the student body, faculty, administration, and with my fellow Crafton Hills College counterparts. This experience taught me the importance of student representation and the impact student voices in shaping policies, initiatives that directly affect their educational experience. And I'm so happy to see that we've evolved and include students in our process now on these boards. I also had the privilege of working with key figures such as Professor Ed Gomez, Professor Yvette Lee, Professor Ed Milliken, staff members like Mary Valdemar, who literally fed me when I was hungry, and former trustee John Futch. May he rest in power. These individuals, also amongst many others, were instrumental in my development as a leader and advocate in this community. I am often asked to return to Valley to support various student events like hosting virtual book clubs for the library, speaking at undocumented student events, and I was once the keynote speaker for the Latino-Latina graduation. I was also not sure how this happened, Valley College's 95th anniversary. Please don't put those flyers with our giant faces up on the campus again. Lastly, as part of my master's program and training at CSUSB, I also taught several communication courses while at Valley. Now, why am I here today? Because I want to support working students. Many students in our community colleges are balancing their education with the demands of work and family. These working students face significant barriers to access higher education, including scheduling and limited support services. I am committed to addressing these challenges by advocating for flexible scheduling, expanding evening, weekend, and online courses, offerings to accommodate a diverse schedule of working students. Financial support, increasing access to scholarships, grants, and emergency financial aid to alleviate the financial pressures on working students. Support services, enhancing on-campus resources such as childcare, transportation assistance, and academic advising to support. I would be remiss if I didn't want to support and expand initiatives like the Dreamers Resource Center and the Dreamers Scholars Program at Crafton Hills College. As someone who has personally navigated the challenges of being undocumented, I understand the critical needs for resources and support systems that address the unique needs of our population. I am committed to ensuring these students have access to the tools and opportunities they need to succeed academically and beyond. Dual enrollment. Dual enrollment programs are crucial to provide earn college credits while still in high school. These programs not only accelerate students' academic progress, but also reduce the cost of college education. I am committed to expanding dual enrollment opportunities to ensure that more students can benefit from this head start on their higher educational journey. Funding. Securing adequate funding for our community colleges is essential to maintaining and enhancing the quality of education. I will advocate for increased funding from the state and federal sources to support academic programs, student services, and infrastructure improvements. Additionally, I will work to ensure that funds are allocated equitably to address the needs of all students. Workforce development is a critical component of our community's college's mission. By partnering with local businesses and industries, we can create programs that align with the current job market and provide students with the skills they need to succeed in their careers. I will champion initiatives that strengthen these partnerships and expand vocational and technical training programs. I'm over here speaking to the choir, by the way. Book savers programs. The high cost of textbooks is a significant barrier for many students. I know it was for my family. By promoting the adoption of open educational sources and other free or low-cost textbooks alternatives, like the Book Savers program recently rolled out by you all, thank you, it can alleviate the financial burden and make education more accessible. KVCR, our local public broadcasting station, Love all the social media ads and the streaming services commercial. I want to continue to leverage KVCR where we can to continue to promote educational content, highlight student achievement, and continue to foster a sense of community. As a Board of Trustee, my vision for San Bernardino Valley College and Crafton Hills College is one of inclusive, innovative, and student-centered policies. I believe that our community colleges should be places where every student, regardless of their background or circumstances, can achieve their full potential. But to achieve this, we must give accessibility, equity, innovation, and community engagement. My leadership experience as an educational advocate has equipped me with the skills and perspectives necessary to serve effectively on this board. I am a strong communicator, a collaborative team player, and a dedicated advocate for students. I am committed to transparency, accountability, and ethical leadership. In closing, I am a living example of the transformative power of education. And that's why I had to write this down, because I'm a Chillona, and they to have them translated for you. I have lived the challenges of our students, and I am passionate about creating more inclusive, supportive, and empowering educational environments for all. With your support, we can ensure that community colleges continue to be beacons of hope and opportunity for every student. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so that concludes our interviewing process. And so we are going to first start, prior to the motion, we're going to conduct our round one of our ranking sheet. So we each have a ranking sheet. We are going to rank all 6 candidates. The directions are on the sheet. Once we have that, we are going to tally the scores. So we're going to take just a moment to do that. And just for the public, once the scores are tallied, we will be provided a new ranking sheet for round 2 of ranking. Okay, so now we're going to have our second round of scoring. So you'll receive a new sheet. There are 2 people that you will not rank in this round. Well, for the purposes of this process. Okay, so what we did was we had the 6 candidates, and for the purposes of beginning a discussion, we ranking to get us to collectively who all of the trustees collectively, when you add the scores together, identified as the top 2. At this time, what we're going to do is open up for discussion. There's a couple of things I want to remind everybody of. We can talk about any of the candidates, right? So that is absolute, no one's been like ruled out, but for the purposes of discussion, so we all know collectively ranking, the top two candidates are Carlos Aguilar and Fatima Sanchez. So those are the top two on the 2 rounds. That doesn't mean we can't talk about any and all of the other candidates. And so the way the process works is we will have a motion for the provisional appointment. And if there's a motion and a second, then we will begin discussion. During the discussion, another reminder, we can discuss any of the candidates during that discussion. The motion and the second is to open up discussion. Again, to remind you, through the process that we just went through, Carlos and Fatima are the top 2 in the process that we did. So at this time, I'll look for a motion so we can begin discussion, and again, we can discuss any candidate. One more thing, we can also, if when we call for the vote after discussion, we need to have the candidate carry with at least 4 of our trustees. Our student trustees are advisory only. And if we, at some point through this process, decide that, or we don't have the support for any single candidate, we do have the option of having this vacancy filled through the election process that is happening in November. So we have lots of options. So again, at this time, looking for a motion to begin discussion.
Well, I have a point of information.
Sure.
So if for whatever reason, folks decided clear on, is there a cost associated with doing that, or is it part of the regular election?
Executive Vice Chancellor
If it
Torres.
came down to, hey, we couldn't come to a decision, and this has happened in other processes with other bodies, do we know with where we're at, is that a special election, or is it part of the November election?
So it will be up to the county superintendent of schools, but based on how late is Liz in the game, most likely they will not run a special election. Most likely.
Most likely, no special election,
Correct.
which then most likely no additional expenses. The
Correct.
vacancy could potentially
Correct.
be filled by the process that is
Correct.
almost ready to begin.
Yeah.
Through the chair, I would want to double check. I have 2 questions here that I rely on staff heavily, but I just want to just be real firm, clear on this. My understanding is there's a specified date which is set in law, and unless there's been a change in the law, the determination of whether the vacancy is filled by a special election, appointment, the general election, one of the key factors is when the vacancy occurs, and that we should be able to say at this point whether there would have to be a special or a regular election. And one of the big differences between those two is that a special election is extremely expensive because it's the only thing that's on the ballot. And therefore, all of the costs related to the election are borne by the district. The Registrar of Voters office would bill this district for the entire cost of the election. Whereas if it's part of a general election, we are simply one small part of a whole bunch of elections that are being held, and we pay our proportional share. We still have a cost associated versus an appointment, but it's a relatively trivial cost, the same as the cost for any other member who's up for election. That's my understanding, and if I could get that verified, I'd sure appreciate it.
You're 100% correct. If the county superintendent of schools decides to run a special elections, we will bear the cost, the full cost of that special elections, which could be extremely expensive. And I'm looking at our attorney, but based on a previous that we had, the date is August. That we have the deadline, that you have the deadline to appoint someone. If you don't appoint someone by August 13, then it has to go to the regular election.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
So may I ask the question another way then? Since August 13th is after the date of regular election processes, how does that fit into the equation?
Looking at the statutory
Okay.
body right now, I'm going to need a couple minutes to take a look.
Sure. So, yes.
I have some comments here in
Trustee
regards to
Reyes.
this. I think that, first of all, we have some good candidates. I'm really encouraged now from a different perspective. If all the family members and all the people that came in to be part of this, we appreciate their input. If we get that support during the time when we are looking for other things, whether it be support the college in terms of the bond and so forth, I'm really encouraged. That means that we need for them to be active, and so I'm encouraged. It's very clear as to, for my opinion, who are the individuals that are the leaders. I mean, that came on top. I don't see any problem us selecting one individual, possibly two individuals, but without having to be concerned about a special election. If we didn't have someone that was not well qualified, it would be good. So it's up to us as leaders of this board, and we are very concerned about the cost, because I think we don't want to spend a lot of money. It's good. It's going to be for what, from now until the end of
Depending on how the election would go, right? The November election.
So,
and then-
just, I mean, like Gloria's position, when would that end? That would have already ended, right?
Effective the 30th of June, she's
Yeah, no, but
vacated
I'm
the position, and then the position is one of the positions up for reelection in November of 2024.
Okay, so then, let's say, for example, because that was after that happens, and some individuals said, I'm only going to run this time, and they didn't want to go further. So it was not very smart for them. But that person, will it be for the whole term from 24 to 28?
Right, so if we select somebody tonight through this provisional appointment, they are trustee from the time they're sworn in until
The 24, whatever it is.
the
end?
results of the election, right? And then that regular reorganization happens in December of 2024 after the election is certified. Whoever, if we have a provisional appointment today, that position beyond that December 2024 reorganization meeting, based on the result of the election, would have to run in November. They would have to go to the Registrar of Voters and do the thing to run. And that process is getting ready to begin within the next couple of weeks.
And through the chair,
Trustee Lumpa.
my recollection and understanding, and I'm stating this for verification by the council and perhaps other staff if they are familiar with this, if we appoint someone tonight and that person files to run in November for a full 4-year term, and no one files to run against that person, then will that contest still appear on the ballot, or will the person be appointed in lieu of election under the provisions of
Yes,
the law?
yes, appointed in lieu of election.
Right, so what would happen is that the position would go unfilled, and then you would have your options presented again. And just so you know your options as to how you fill a board office depends specifically on when the vacancy appears and occurs. And so we'd have to look at it at that point and see where we are on a filling with a vacancy, if that's the route we went.
Well, I think the question is is slightly different. I
Okay.
think the question is, if we provisionally choose someone tonight, and then that person pulls papers and does everything to be on the ballot, and they are unopposed on the ballot. That's the question.
Then they would simply assume a 4-year term as a board member.
That's the question, and that's what you're saying. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, so do we have a motion for a candidate?
I have a motion for a candidate from my perspective.
We didn't get the answer.
Or do we have to go with the two individuals that were the top?
We only have one vacancy, so we can only make the motion for one candidate. It can be any of the
Okay.
6.
We
We just know who mathematically when we did the process.
But just
very
But-
clearly, very
the clarification, did we get the answer to the question about the special election, or are we foregoing that?
Yeah, based on what I'm seeing here, and this is kind of some quick on-the-spot research, it would appear to me that if the vacancy is not filled in August, it would be filled at the next regular election because that's when the position would be up anyways.
Okay,
So I do not believe a special would be called.
okay. So,
I'm ready to make a recommendation.
Okay.
And looking at, again, top quality individuals, it's very clear to me that there's one individual that what we for us to continue to get grants for them to understand how the process. Very clear to me is Mr. Carlos Aguilera is, in my opinion, the best candidate for this position.
okay, so we have a motion for Carlos Aguilera. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Trustee Gonzalez. Any discussion?
I guess I'll just throw in, I was very impressed with both of the top candidates.
Yeah.
And I think they each have outstanding stories, which I think matter, and experiences and work experience as well that makes a difference. It's sort of like we haven't had any representation who actually lives in the mountains on this body for a very long time, I think.
Ever.
Right. So, so that's something important. But also, the community of San Bernardino is the dominant leader population-wise in the region too. So, they both have really great qualities, and I look forward to this playing out.
Thank you. Trustee Williams?
So, I was impressed with all of the candidates. I think they all brought something different. I appreciate the fact that many of them spoke directly to issues related to the college district and showed that they did some research and know about some of our top priorities. I agree that both Mr. Carlos and Ms. Fatima are highly qualified. I felt like I got to know Ms. Fatima a little more than I did Mr. Carlos, in that the passion in which she delivered her interview, know a little bit more. And I do appreciate the fact that Mr. Carlos is in the mountain community. However, like you said, with this seat, representing the city of San Bernardino, our largest college sits in the city of San Bernardino. And then, her lived experience and story is representative of a good portion of the students. And my same reason during the last process is what I'm personally interested in is someone who is able to directly connect with and inspire students to come back to campus. That's what I want to see. When I was a student, Valley College and Crafton Hills College were bustling places. And I know one trustee is not going to do that by themselves. I'm just saying that I just feel like that persona is what, I would like to see setting here on the board in some ways and organize. And I get that's not the trustee's technical role, but that's what I'm looking for.
I'll jump
Trustee
in real
Betters?
quick. Yeah, absolutely. I going through the process recently, I know it takes a lot of courage to step up there and just endeavor to want to serve. And I'm grateful that everybody that came out to stand up at that podium and to speak. And I'm excited if this goes to an individual tonight, whoever that person is. And I'm looking forward to this continued conversation.
Thank you. Trustee Longbow?
I would just note, I too found we have an outstanding array of candidates who applied. My own inclination toward letting it go to an election. All of the candidates would be capable of filling the job. Some bring particularly greater strengths, but they all are capable of filling the job. And I am not inclined to fill it therefore. So we don't have a second, is that correct?
We do have a
Oh,
second. We do have
Okay.
a second. So we'll at some point take a vote. Student trustees, is there, from your advisory perspective? You don't have to. I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot, but I'm not trying to. Oh, okay. I'm reading the room. So I'll just chime in at this point with really echoing. I'm not sure that I can add anything to the conversation that hasn't already been said, but with 6 candidates and with the area that, Valley College is really the flagship, the centerpiece of the city of San Bernardino and a hub for the city of San Bernardino. No, I'm talking for the city of San Bernardino. I'm not talking about for the district. Come on now. Come on, I'm talking about for the city. This is a vacancy. Don't be a hater. This is come on now. I bleed green, we know this. But for this particular vacancy, it is a vacancy for the area that is served by the centerpiece of the city of San Bernardino. With 6 candidates who all have variety of lived experience, variety of passion points related to the impact that not only that college has on the area that we're talking about, but also on their personal lives. I, as one individual, would lean toward allowing the populace of that region to make the decision. We are so close to that period happening. It will happen anyway. It's going to happen. There is an election. I would, as one person, potentially lean that direction. Yes, Trustee Reyes.
I know that, again, they're 2 excellent individuals that we're talking about. I'm looking at it in terms of future grant opportunities, resources brought to our area. Very clear to me who has the experience. We come in and we listen to these individuals, and I applaud that. For me, as a board member, I'm looking for someone who could help us at the highest level. I'm talking at the highest level. I'm talking about the presidency position in Washington, D.C. in terms of grant opportunities from the federal agencies. There's no better individual in terms of bringing resources. There'll be a time when I'm going to retire, so you want to be able to begin to think about individuals that will make it easier. And so I'm looking at it from that perspective. Otherwise, if we don't have the resources. Look what's happened with KVCR in regards when we were able to get those monies. It gave us a lot of good opportunities. We are in a position now to possibly get someone who could really help at the federal level and the state level. There's not a better individual in terms, if you're talking about demographics and all that, than Mr. Aguilera. Very clear to me. Now, the other young lady is also very good, absolutely. I don't see that individual being as engaged in terms of the legislative appropriations. That's what, for me, is really important because we want to continue to be successful. The budget, the way it is right now, we're hurting. And we need to look at that.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Trustee Williams?
And like 100% respect and agree in what you are saying. The benefit to the election portion of it is, I believe there's more than just the two that had quality and that are qualified to serve on this board. At the end of the day, whoever we appoint's got to run in November, right? So if we just go to election, that gives all of the candidates that decide to run the opportunity to, run in an open seat. And so that's, when you brought the election up as one of the options, I'm like, hey, and to the staff, forgive us because, but again, this was always a conversation. Hey, I've always said go to election. And so I think it gives all six the playing ground to get out to the public, state their business, and get out there, knock on doors, and want to serve in the seat with us. That's an option, and I like that option because, again, I think they all had something different to offer, and so.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
If I apologize for the break in decorum. We're looking at the issue as to whether a special election would need to be held. And it has to do very specifically with dates, and we are literally within a day or two, one way or the other. If that is a factor that the board wishes to consider whether a special election would be needed, continue this till your next meeting, which is in 2 weeks, to get an official opinion as to whether a special election would need to be called.
Make a substitute motion to that effect.
I'll second.
So do we have him withdraw his motion first? Or now I'm confused.
Madam Chair, there's a couple ways to do it. The motion was made, I believe, by Trustee Reyes. He could withdraw his motion.
He wishes
And he
not to
wishes
withdraw.
not to withdraw.
Okay, so he wishes not to withdraw his motion. We do have a motion and a second. So do I have a call for the question?
I have a substitute motion.
Well, we can vote on this motion and then,
My understanding is a substitute motion takes precedence over voting on the initial motion.
That is the other option. We would have to vote on the substitute motion
okay,
first, and then if it's passed, it would eliminate the need for the underlying motion.
okay. So we have a substitute motion.
Call for the question.
And a second. So we will take action on the substitute motion. Can you repeat the motion again? Just because
That
we've
would
been.
be to continue this matter for 2 weeks until our next meeting.
So the motion is to continue the matter until the next meeting in 2 weeks. Okay, so with that, oh, there was a second by Trustee Betters, right? So we have a motion and we have a second. About that motion, yes, Trustee Reyes.
Yes. No,
In terms
my
of
understanding
time-wise.
is the deadline is August 13th, is my understanding.
Our deadline is August 13th, not the deadline to run.
Correct, I'm sorry. Our deadline
Okay.
to do an appointment is August 13th.
Okay, okay. Motion to continue. Second, as a, what was it called again? Substitute motion. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, so hearing none, we have our electronic voting machines. We're going to pause and have our student trustees give us their advisory vote first. Okay, and now we will make our vote on whether to continue this.
To continue?
This is the vote to continue.
I'm
To-
confused.
To
Continue 2
substitute.
weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, no, then I don't, no, okay, I got it.
Okay, I think we have all voted. So the motion carries. Well, hold on.
62%.
No, I know, but I have to make sure that we have 4 of the,
Trustees, full
we do.
trustees.
Okay, so the motion carries. Sorry, it's really tiny. So that motion carries. So with that, we will continue this action item until the next meeting for clarity on what we need and to finish the discussion then. So with that, we do not need to take action on the motion made by Trustee Reyes and seconded by Trustee Gonzalez. Okay. Oh. Holy cow. Okay, so we are now on to, where are we? Where are we? I'm like, who?
Action items.
Action items. Okay, we are on to then action item B, which is the assignment of the San Bernardino Valley College President to the Inland Adult Education Consortium Executive Committee.
So moved.
So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion on this? Hearing none, we'll ask for our student trustee advisory vote, and then the rest of us will vote. Okay, and motion carries. We are on to C, which will be our board policies for final approval. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
So move in discussion.
We have a motion by Trustee Gonzalez and a
Second.
second by Trustee Williams. Discussion.
If we could just go to 2431, Chancellor selection. Shall designate a board subcommittee to oversee the search process to fill the chancellor's position in the event of a vacancy. A search committee may be formed which will include, I'm just asking, can we change will to may include?
So there's been a request to change one word from shall, will to
Yeah,
may.
it says we will, and I'm just asking to say, can we keep it consistent and say may?
Any objection to that? So will the maker of the motion with that change in that policy?
You okay with that?
Can
Okay.
I just ask
Yeah.
if staff had any feedback on the language change?
We talked about it.
Does anybody see any problems?
No? No problems from HR?
Okay, thank
That's a good thing.
Yeah, it just gives us more flexibility.
Okay. So we have a motion. Change of one word. Any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, we will ask for our student trustee advisory vote and vote of trustees. Okay, motion carries. We are on now to item D, replace trustees on board advisory committees. So we are looking for a motion to approve a replacement of trustee Gloria Harrison on the board finance committee.
I'd like to nominate Trustee Reyes.
Okay, we have a motion for trustee Reyes on the board finance committee. Do we have we have a second? We have actually 2 vacancies.
I'd like to nominate trustee Betters for the legislative committee.
We're on board, legislative, okay, Betters. We have a motion, do we have a second? Okay, so, yes, so we have a motion to approve the replacement of trustee Gloria Harrison on the board finance committee with trustee Reyes and to replace trustee Ann Vericel on the board legislative committee with trustee Betters. So we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Student advisory vote. And okay, that motion passes. Now we are on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda is expected to be routine and non-controversial. It will be acted upon by the board at one time without discussion. Any member of the board, staff member, or citizen may request that an item be removed from this section for discussion. Are there any items to pull from the consent agenda? Okay, hearing none, I'll look for a motion.
Move for approval.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Gonzalez and a second by trustee Betters. All those in favor, or student trustees, make your advisory vote. And everyone else will make their vote. Voting is closed and the consent agenda passes. With that, we are on to our reports. And our Board Finance Committee is Trustee Gonzalez.
And we have no report this month.
No report. And we have our Board Legislative Committee, Trustee Reyes.
We had a very effective committee discussion. We are doing very well when it comes to keeping up with the individuals that are supporting us in terms of bills and so forth. I know that there were some discussions on keeping up with individuals that we're going to support in terms of their assembly bills that have an impact on our college district. Not only our college district, but throughout the state. And so thanks to the leadership of Angel and Inez, they're keeping us posted. We also had a report from the individual that helps us in Sacramento, Mark, and we pay him pretty well to keep us informed. And despite of the fact that the budget for the state of California is not the best right now, because of his leadership and Angel, and a compliment Mr. Torres in terms of, it could have been pretty bad. And we're keeping ourselves in pretty good shape with their recommendation. Keep in mind, the recommendations of the leadership that really critical, because they're the ones that really keep us posted in terms of the details of that. So it was very good. Now, we are going to be celebrating something that doesn't happen very often. We're going to be celebrating a grant of $3 million on, July, is it the 26th? The 26th, we're going to have the Mr. Pete Aguilar at the federal level. And of course, we're going to have the Sucker, which I had the opportunity to talk to her when I was in Washington, D.C., when we were there, to invite her to come. She's going to be here. We're going to be presenting the check. We're going to give her a tour of the facilities that we're doing in terms of the workforce development and so forth. They're going to be very, very impressed with that. And of course, the Assemblywoman Reyes is going to be also presenting a plaque to Mr. Will Marshall, because Mr. Will Marshall is the one that was instrumental in allowing us to be considered. We were lost for the $3 million, and then we put in $1 million, so it's a $4 million check presentation. So it's going to be really exciting. They're doing a good job in inviting other elected officials, because I want other elected officials to say that $4 million we appreciate, but we're also requesting other things in working with the elected officials in terms of the county and the state and the federal. So it was very, very informative and educational and inspiring, because that's what we're going to have to continue to do in terms of being visionary in our district. And other college districts are looking at us in terms of opportunities. So it was very good. So I thank the committee and thank the leadership of our college that is going to take us to the next level.
Thank you. Thank you for that report. Next is Trustee Gonzalez?
No report.
Okay, and Trustee Williams, do you have a report from Board of Governors?
No report.
And I do not have a report from the Joint Powers Authority, so we are on to our Chancellor for your report.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, or I should say good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying their summer and trying to stay cool in the shade and keeping hydrated and all that good stuff. We've been pretty busy this summer, so let me just share a couple of things with you. First off, we recently launched our Book Saver program, our new textbook affordability program. This initiative, we anticipate, will save students up to $300 per semester by renting their books instead of purchasing them from our bookstores. Our students just simply need to register for the courses, pay for the amount designated through Book Saver, and then the counselor will have the books. Thank you to all of our teams at the DSO and especially at our campuses to put this program forward so that we can help students financially afford coming to our colleges. I'm also thrilled to announce a new partnership aimed at preparing students in careers in green technology and environmental sustainability. We recently signed an MOU with CARB, which stands for California Air, is the state's top air quality agency. Their headquarters is located near us, UCR. They conduct air pollution testing on vehicles, emissions, and everywhere from small vehicles, small cars to heavy-duty trucks. This partnership, we hope, will introduce our students to many of the different STEM careers that are available close to home so that we can keep our students in our communities. Take this time to welcome to the dais Dr. Sharina Betters. Welcome as our new trustee for Area 7, and also Dr. Gilbert Contreras, as our 15th president at San Bernardino Valley College. So looking forward to both of your leadership and working with you. On a personal note, so I saw on my calendar today the date, and it dawned on me that today marks my 8th anniversary in returning to the district. Since 2006, we've accomplished, I like to think that we've accomplished so much together to benefit our students and to help them meet their goals, or as they say, help all of their dreams come true. And I know that there is still so much more to do, and I'm excited for that. And lastly, just a quick shout out to KVCR for the fantastic community outreach. They have supplied the board with jackets so that we can promote KVCR everywhere we go. I know it's 108 degrees outside.
We're beginning in December.
The jackets are heavy, but you get the idea. So thank you very much to Executive Director Leyva and all of the team at KVCR. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
All right. So at this time, we're on to our represented groups, and it is summertime, so I know here. So first up is Crafton Hills College Academic Senate.
No report.
Looks like no report. Crafton Hills College Classified Senate.
No report.
Crafton Hills College Associated Students.
Yes, we do have.
Hi, come on up.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to reintroduce myself to start. My name is Katrina Behringer, and I am College. So I serve as the delegate for Crafton Hills College when we go to General Assembly every year, and I also act as the student liaison between Crafton Hills College and Region 9. And this is our report. So the Crafton Hills College Student Senate is actively collaborating with our counselors department and our student services department to plan and hold our annual Roadrunner Rally on August 6th. And this event is designed to provide students with an opportunity to connect with our student resources, meet new people, and to familiarize themselves with our campus before the new school year starts. And the CHC Student Senate is also taking steps to address our regional issues by advocating for the Book Savers program, as previously mentioned. And the cost of textbooks as a barrier to student equity and success has and the Book Savers program aims to lower the financial burden on students. And the Student Senate looks forward to being a partner and advocate as this program is being launched. We also recently drafted a letter of support for reform to AB 1855, highlighting how protecting the locations of members attending meetings remotely does not hinder participation from the public and furthermore ensures equitable access to associated student governments and student associations required to adhere to the Brown Act. Additionally, we have concluded appointments of our appointed cabinet, and we are proud to note that we have officially appointed 10 new officers, bringing our cabinet total to 17 out of 20 officer positions. And this is the largest that our Student Senate has been in recent years, so we're very proud. And that concludes my.
Next, thank you. Next up is San Bernardino Valley College Academic Senate. Okay. San Bernardino Valley College Classified Senate. San Bernardino Valley College Associated Students.
No report.
Thank you. I know. Next up is CSEA.
Mary Valdemar with the California School Employees Association, Chapter 291, also Valley College alum, and work in the San Bernardino Valley College Library. Been on campus, I think, over 20 years now. It's been a minute. I want to extend apologies from Ernest Guillen for not being in attendance today. And he asked me to come as the political action coordinator, which was very timely to hear the board considerations for the appointed seats. But we also want to let you know that we're starting our endorsement process for the chapter. And so we want to invite incumbents who are planning to run for re-election in November to come visit us at a special meeting in July or August, depending on your schedule availability, to come talk to the chapter members about your candidacy. Ernie and I also sit as delegates on the Inland Empire Labor Council, and that process for Labor Council candidates is going to be running through the end of July. So if you've already attended the Labor Academy, which is the training session that we present for labor candidates, you can be considered and part of the Inland Empire Labor Council endorsements as well. As one of the largest employers in the region and also a major partner in workforce and economic development, I know you know how urgent it is we work together in a spirit of equity, justice, and also growth into the future. What we need. So I'm super happy to hear about the partnerships with CARB and the workforce development monies that are coming to do workforce development. I hope that we can continue to successfully partner with labor for the benefit of the entire region and make sure that our students after graduation are inheriting thriving wages and good quality jobs with benefits that's going to benefit the entire region, including ourselves. So, and we hope to be able to meet candidacies, but also the future board members. And welcome to the student trustees, the new student trustees, the new board members, and also the new presidential positions that are on board. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is CTA.
Good evening, Board of Trustee members, Chancellor, Dr. Senior District Managers. I'm Jeff Dembski. I'm the new Faculty Union President. CTA has some positive updates to report and some appreciations to express. In a few weeks, we'll convene our executive board retreat. Our agenda's focus is integrating DEIA competencies into our advocacy and our operations. Of course, these discussions have been ongoing district-wide for several years. I'd like to thank Valley College Union seated behind me for leading our current team in these efforts. They're important efforts. Would also like to specifically thank Vice Chancellor Hannon for helping CTA secure EEO funding for our upcoming meetings. We appreciate this support as a financial matter, but also as a meaningful human capital connection. Our executive board values interpersonal relationships. It might be old-fashioned, but it's effective. And I pledge that during the next 2 years, CTA will work respectfully with every member of this board and all district leaders. This commitment to civility does not mean that CTA members will necessarily be silent. Hearing public comment criticism is part of your jobs, though I imagine it's not likely your favorite part of the job. Our disagreements, however, do not have to be disrespectful, and I do not expect that they will be. These are part-time and full-time professors that live and raise their families in this community. They're deeply committed to this district and its success. We all appreciate working for a financially solvent and innovative district, a district with a nearly 100-year history. CTA members are part of this tradition as well. We are partners with you, and we are proud and looking forward to see you next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is our Police Officers Association. Looks like no report. We are on to staff reports. Our San Bernardino Valley College president.
Yes, thank you. In addition to my written report, I have 3 updates from Valley College. But before I do, I just want to welcome Trustee Betters to the Board of Trustees. And I also want to thank the board and Chancellor Valley College. I couldn't be more inspired or encouraged or enthusiastic about my role in serving as the 15th president of Valley College. I also want to thank Dr. Linda Fontanilla for the time she spent with me during this transition and all of her support during the transition. And I want to thank the people from Fullerton College, Rios College, Cypress College who came in support of me today. And I really want to let them know that I'm a better listener, a better leader because of the people. So I want to thank them as well. So 3 updates. Valley College on July 6th hosted Summerfest in collaboration with the San Bernardino Symphony Orchestra. Absolutely amazing event. Really the spirit of Valley College in celebrating community. We've been celebrating community for 99 years at Valley College, and that was just a marquee event. And I really want to thank Chancellor Rodriguez, former trustee, Dr. Ann Virachel, all the people for the hard work of and from the orchestra. San Bernardino saved over the rainbow in The Wizard of Oz, and that's a fun fact. We learned more at that event. In addition, my second update is enrollment is booming at Valley College. You have that in the written report for the spring, but fall to fall, we're up 26% in FTES for the fall and 24% in head count. And that takes everyone to accomplish that amazing work. Especially want to thank the faculty, the classified professionals, the managers, this board, DSO for making it a priority and all the marketing work that we're doing. Especially want to thank Dr. Dina Humble, Dr. Rosas for working collaboratively both in the classroom and for support services. It takes all of us to work together to reach those levels of enrollment growth. And finally, I want to thank all the Wolverines across San Bernardino Valley College. It has been a joy to walk around the campus. And yes, I've been walking around campus, 106-degree weather. I took off my coat after 3 days and, just rolled up my sleeves and got to meet a lot of people. And the smiles, the energy, the excitement at Valley College is really inspiring to see, to know that our students are greeted with those smiles and that warmth and that energy is really, really inspiring. Also had an opportunity to welcome over 200 students to the Summer Bridge program. And if you heard on COLA 99.9, San Bernardino Valley College is partnering with San Bernardino Unified School District, handing out backpacks later this month. So that's really exciting to live to that institution. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Yes, question, Trustee Williams?
Just clarification. First, welcome and welcome. Thank you for the report. Is Valley 99 this year or what?
99 this year. Centennial is coming up next year.
Yeah, so just thinking about the event that we had a couple of weeks, like we need to have a fireworks show, you know, all month, like, and raise $100 million. Right?
We're actually of celebrations.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I heard a challenge of $100 million. I'm just saying, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Jose, help.
I mean, you've done 6 before, so like it's not like it's
Just saying, huh?
Pull a rabbit out of your hat.
parcel tax. I mean, something.
All right, next up is Crafton Hills College. Dr. Horan.
Good evening, trustees. I'd like to begin by welcoming Dr. Betters to the board. It's a pleasure to be able to work with you in this capacity, and I think you're going to do great things. I just have 2 quick updates. One is I'd like to congratulate Dr. Willie Blackman, Suits Zayapantong, and Belinda Navarrete. They have been selected to present at the California California Coalition of Early and Middle Colleges on dual enrollment. And their presentation is entitled Empathy, Equity, and Supportive Measures, Navigating Dual Enrollment from an Equity Lens. And this is a representative of the excellent work that they and many of our faculty and our student services team have done to expand our dual enrollment programs. And we're very excited for their accomplishment and being selected for that. And the last thing I have is just to thank Jeff Dembski, who's our new CTA president, accepted an invitation from him, met with him earlier a couple weeks ago, and then today had a wonderful experience with Lucas Cooney over at KVCR in what can only be described as an impressive podcast lounge. And I encourage all of you, if you ever get the invitation, to accept it. I felt like I was on the Armchair Expert or Howard Stern, and it was an amazing conversation with Lucas about education, innovation, leadership, and just a wonderful collaboration with CTA. That's my report.
Thank you for that. Next up, Executive Vice Chancellor Torres.
No report. Just welcome Dr. Betters.
Vice Chancellor of Human Resources and Police Services.
Really quick, welcome to Dr. Betters. Thank you to both CTA and CSEA for our continued working together and collaboration. And I wanted to be the first person to congratulate Dr. Diana Rodriguez at the dais, but congratulations. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Congratulations. Executive Vice Chancellor of Student Support Services.
No update, but also want to welcome Dr. Betters.
Okay, with that, we have our information items. Are there any information items that anyone would like to discuss? Okay. All right, hearing none, so we will go now into our closed session. We have a conference with labor negotiators. We have public employee discipline, dismissal, release, non-reemployment. We have conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. We have conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, and public employee performance evaluation. Do we have any public comment for closed session items? No.
Madam Chair, before we go into closed session, I would simply like to wish everyone a happy Festival of San Fermin, which just passed us.
Okay, thank you for that. With that, we will convene into closed session, taking a 10-minute break. So at 5 minutes after 7, we'll convene into closed session. Thank you. It is 7:49. We are reconvened into our public meeting. And at this time, there is no report of action in closed session. So with that, the next meeting of the board will be a special board meeting on July the 17th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. in the San Bernardino Community College District Boardroom at 550 East Hospitality Lane, Suite 200, San Bernardino, California, 92407. And with that, again, without objection, it is 7:50, and this meeting is adjourned.